SGI Canada. Play ball.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Green is the color, football is the game. We're all together and winning is
Catchy tune. And surprising. It is a Rider Day today. Welcome to the Sports Cage Friday. Made it through another week. Thanks for tuning in. A lot to get to and a lot of guests in the studio today. The sheriff is here. Means business today, too. Colson is here. Harry's going to join me at the bottom of the hour. We got a lot going on in the area. SJHL, we're going to run down WHL, AAA Midget out in Moose Jaw today. Big game, Junior B, Senior, CIS, hockey, hoopla, the whole gamut. We are going to get our clutch performer out of the way. Dave Thomas talked to Mark Killam from the Edmonton Elks also today. Farhan Lalji on Friday, hour 3 in studio with us. So Farhan will be here face-to-face. And then we shutter at 5:30 because we go to Dante and the Regina Pats broadcast. The Pats are in Brandon. So thanks to Nelson Homes, sponsoring the Friday program. Dave Thomas first in studio beside me. Dave, the Combine. I had a chance to go check it out. Mm-hmm. To me, and again, first CFL Combine ever, looked professional.
Oh, yeah. Well run. Absolutely, for sure.
Athletes.
Yeah.
Athletes. Can the big guys move?
You know what? There were some guys they're moving quite well. Now, some of the 40 times looked a little bit off, a little bit slower than what they've traditionally seen. And when it comes to handheld and laser timing, of course, there's that whole debate that goes on. But for the most part, the athletes very much impressed. The talk from a lot of people was, boy, there's guys that are moving a lot quicker than we thought that they would. So that's a good thing. And the one guy that stood out for a lot of guys is Daniel Wiebe, the receiver from the University of Saskatchewan. And again, he's short on stature, but makes up for it in quicks, in hops. Again, he was in the top 5 in a couple of the speed drills. And then he went up and put the best bench press time, or best bench press for a receiver. So
there you go. How tall is he again?
I think 5'10".
I was going to say 11. But
you know what? It all depends on who you ask and what day it is. I didn't see the official measurement from the CFL yet.
If he's got lifts in. Are you getting excited?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, we're still a couple ways away. Joining us out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, if you're watching the stream, Justin Dunk, another member of our Rider Broadcast Network team. Justin, you didn't make it into Regina for the Combine this week, but you're probably following it pretty closely with your fellows from 3 Down Nation there as well.
You know it, buddy. Full coverage there, just like you guys are going to have on the Sports Cage and sportscage.com. For me, it's all about the Canadian quarterbacks, guys. Come on, you already know that.
Are you getting excited for Rider season, CFL season?
For sure, man. I'm honestly most excited about the Canadian quarterbacks in this class and see how they get into the CFL. But definitely, when we get there, I'll be excited for the Rider season and the CFL year to kick off in Regina, boys.
That's right. And that's the big thing. It kicks off in Regina. Rider Broadcast Network. Our team last year, everybody was saying best ever, but we had to add. We thought we sat down, Dave, Justin, and you guys are like, what's missing? Is there anything missing? And, ladies and gentlemen, joining us in studio here on the Sports Cage, she will be part of the Rider Broadcast Network team. Tegan Whitco is with us.
Hi.
Tegan, yay.
No pressure or anything. Hey, well, someone's got to keep this all together, right? Someone's got to be the glue, make sure that we stay on track.
Yeah.
So that's me. That's my role.
Extensive broadcast career. We heard you in Moose Jaw, then we heard you here in Regina on the Wolf. Dabbled in TV. Now you're back here. And you are... I love this about Tegan. You're a sports fan, and you're a football fan.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm so excited about this opportunity. I mean, you guys were talking about getting excited for the season. Let's see, 2 months from Monday? But who's counting? First preseason game. That's coming up in a hurry here.
Keeping it together. Right?
I didn't even know that. We don't even have that countdown in here. Now, the funny thing, Moose Jaw is where you were born and raised.
Not born, but raised. Yes.
Your parents were Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans.
Yeah, I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm gonna get ripped for that one. But yes, going to the stadium, my parents were all decked out in their Bomber gear, and of course, I had to defy them in some way, shape, or form. So I was a Rider fan.
Are they still Bomber fans?
Well, my mom says she's on the fence now. She likes to cheer for both teams. Well, she's got to support me now, right?
I'm good with that. Now, tell me, what are you excited about when it comes to the season? I know you follow closely.
Yeah, I'm just, I think overall I'm excited that the core has kind of been maintained. There's also not going to be a ton of new names for me to learn, which is fantastic. But just building upon this Corey Mace era, for lack of a better term, I don't know, that the energy feels different last season, and I think we're going to just build off of that this season.
So, Justin, to you, last year was your first year doing the pre, the post, being part of the Rider Broadcast Network, adding Tegan. Just explain to the fans out there how this is all going to work. What are you excited about?
I'm just excited to have, a great view from Tegan's standpoint. And to be quite honest, guys, when you talk about wanting to be better, we had some callers call in that were females and said, well, how come you don't have females consistently on the show? So I think it brings a different, smarter perspective than most of the men out there, I'll say. And I'm excited because it's going to allow me to just focus on the things that, I'll use Dave's term, I hate talking about myself, but I guess that I'm good at. So Tegan will take care of a lot of that stuff. And I just like her energy from talking to her just a little bit here. And I'm sure as we go on into the season and build a rapport, it's going to be great.
So pre and post game, you, Tegan, and Wes.
Yes.
That
Sorry.
was the longest pause.
No, I was just like, I think that was my question. I wasn't paying attention.
So go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. This is, you know what? I just learned what I think is probably the hardest job in the Canadian Football League today. And I'm sorry, I'm totally going off the rails on you. But at the bench press, there's one guy whose solo job is to count 1, 2, and can you imagine doing that 92 different times? At some point, your mind's just got to wander, and you're going to be the guy that misses one. Anyways, yes, Wes Cates is going to be back. Luke Mullender is going to be back. We're the full roster. We wanted continuity just like the Roughriders.
And you, Tegan's going to be patrolling the sidelines at home games?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be all over the place.
That's got to be exciting. Getting down there, although, it can be hot, it can be cold. You never know where you're going to...
Yeah, I'm going to have to bring some long underwear and some shorts probably because you just never know in a Saskatchewan season. It's it's going to be very exciting. That stadium in and of itself, it has its own personality. It's the stadium that you hate until you're the home team. It's a stadium no one wants to play in. That energy is unmatched. So I'm very excited to be part of that.
Yeah, and super professional. Of course.
Yeah.
Everything Tegan does. We couldn't bring Wes in today. We just don't have enough mics.
Yeah.
But, we had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. And Justin, to you, just having that, working with Wes, he's got that, laid back kind of feel. But he really gives you a perspective that, you played at a high level. But the perspective that a lot of people just don't get.
It's rare, man. And he's cool, too. The more time I spent with Wes, the more I liked him. I knew how great of a player he was, but he brings you inside and does a really great job of connecting, his playing days and those experiences to what's going on in real time with the Riders. So that relationship with Wes Cates has been awesome. And you wouldn't know that he was a superstar CFL player because that's the word of the day in the CFL by the way that he treats everybody. He treats everybody just like he's a native Saskatchewanian, if I'm saying that properly. That's what really stands out to me about Wes. You can hit him with anything, even if you want to go off script, and he's ready to roll.
Well dressed.
Yeah.
Always too.
Nice kicks, right?
Yeah, he's always looks cool, acts cool, all that. So you patrolled a lot of sideline in your day, different CFL, college ball, all that. Any tips for?
Always watch the play because you don't want to be the storyline like the lady in Toronto last year who was holding the parabolic mic and wasn't paying attention and boom, ran over. My first game, that almost happened to me. Well, absolutely. Just because you're so swept up in everything that's going on, you're like, okay, the play's coming my way. And like, it's like, oh yeah, the play is coming my way.
That's got to be hard, though, when you're kind of checking out the injuries or what happened there.
Trying to peek in the tent. And I don't want to be a viral video, okay? So I will definitely take that for what it's worth.
Have you talked to anyone else? Any tips? Have you been watching? Do you have a favorite sideline reporter?
Erin Andrews is a boss. So I do
married to a Sasky guy.
I have to watch her very closely because I do appreciate the level of professionalism that she brings, and she's quick, man. She's in, she's out, because I know Dave's not going to let me ramble on forever.
It's on me now. Jeez.
Hey, got to toss it right back to you, buddy.
Yeah, it's all good. I can handle it. You know what? I got to toss one to Dunk, though, because his name was brought up over and over and over again at the Combine. Jackson Tuszynski, quarterback for the University of Manitoba Bison, showed very well, and everybody was asking about what your take was going to be on the Canadian quarterbacks.
You guys don't have enough time for that.
Try us.
I will say real quick on Tuszynski, I've heard going into the Combine and his draft year some comparisons to a Chris Streveler. Now, he's not as athletic as Streveler was when he was coming up from the United States, but I can see it, a guy that could be a potential short yardage dude for you and have a chance to develop down the line. He has to get better as a passer, but he's just one of many quarterbacks in this class. I won't rhyme them all off and go through them all, but that are legitimate quarterback prospects. We're talking about Taylor Elgersma and Curtis Rourke that are likely going to get shots in the NFL. We have Jonathan Senecal at the Combine right there in Regina, who's won a national championship in this country and a Heck Crichton Award. You got Arnaud Desjardins, who now has 2 Vanier Cup rings to his credit. Keegan Hall, who was at McMaster University, transferred to York, has put up a lot of numbers. So this is a deep quarterback class, dare I say, the best in CFL draft history. I went and asked all the coaches and GMs around the league that. Some agreed, some said they're not quite old enough to speak to the history of it, which I totally understand. But I think it actually is. It just speaks, I think, to the proliferation of these athletes getting better at different positions. And I mean, to bring it back to the Riders, a guy that you can look at that's doing something special in 2025 is Tavon Campbell. There has not been a Canadian start at boundary cornerback since Davis Sanchez retired from the CFL in 2011. This is special stuff that's going on with Canadians in the CFL right now.
An athlete's an athlete, though. And when it comes to Tuszynski, depending upon which roster sheet you look at for the CFL Combine, he also is listed as a tight end. Now, I don't know if that's a slight on him as a quarterback, or is that just speaking to his athleticism? Because, of course, he did play basketball at the U of M as well as football. I don't know.
I think it's his versatility. Like you said, there's been talk about Chris Streveler being used in multiple different ways, sort of like a Taysom Hill role, who's with the New Orleans Saints. He can line up a quarterback, running back, tight end, and even split out sometimes. Now, again, Tuszynski doesn't have that top-end speed, but he has that natural athletic ability.
When you look at the Combine and then into the draft, Justin, from you, if you put your GM hat on, do you take best athlete available, or do you kind of what your team needs, the future? Are you going deep, dissecting it, or do you go best athlete available at that time?
That's the tricky part with the Canadian Football League draft, because if you're taking the best athlete, that athlete might have an NFL opportunity, right? Like, let's look at linebacker Connor Shea from Wyoming. He's not at the Combine, had a great pro day, put up a lot of stats with the Cowboys there at Wyoming, and he could have some NFL interest. Darian Newell, the defensive lineman from Queens, is another one, had an absolute freak show in the best way possible at the Buffalo pro day. Like, we're talking about a guy that's 287, running sub 540, and doing a bunch of other crazy stuff on the field. So you have to sort through that NFL interest, and then you can get down to your question, Barney. Are you taking the best player, or are you taking the position fit?
Okay, I'm going to throw this to Tegan, right? So, obviously, we all paid attention to last year's CFL draft. And last year, arguably, the Riders had a very, very good draft, albeit their first-round pick doesn't come. Am I wrong in saying that Ajo was not the best draft pick that the Riders had last year when you look at him in the 7th round?
Yeah, I mean, that's a wild situation there, too, right? Because he's also Indianapolis, right? I mean, good players get scooped up. You can't always guarantee that that's what you're going to have long term. It's the unfortunate reality.
He was there today.
Yeah, he stood by me at the bench press because he wanted to see if anybody could get past the 12 that he had last year. I'm like, so are you like going to start booing guys or what? No, he wasn't.
He's not
doing
competitive
that.
at all.
But he was there with Deshaun Mims, Jacob Brammer. There was a number of Roughriders there that were just seeing what was going on.
Counting in that guy's ear. 7, 10, 11. Right on. Okay, Dunk, well, before we let you go, you guys are going to stick around. I heard that they do have a new commissioner. They just haven't announced it yet. Anything on that front?
Man, I think it's moving that way. Let's say that.
Ooh. That is called playing your cards close to your chest or vest region right there. All right, Justin, thanks so much for taking some time this afternoon, and we'll chat with you in a couple weeks.
You bet, man. Excited to get after it this season with Tegan and Toe leading the way.
Yes, Justin Dunk, part of our Rider Broadcast Network team here. We'll go to break. Tegan's going to stick around. Dave's going to stick around. We'll come back right back. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com on X and, of course, on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist.
We'll look back at some of the big shakers and movers of the country music scene. Some cats reinvented themselves. Others, they did what works for them the best. We'll feature the top 25 on your Country Music Rewind.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist. Brought to you by Crawford's No Frills. Saturday afternoons at 4 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on Country's Greatest Hits. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
Back here in Assiniboia, the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto. So here's what they would like. This is what they've been telling me here, the organizers. They're down to about 3,063 tickets left, and they'd like to be below 3,000 by the end of the day. Do you think you can make that happen? Let's make that happen. 1-888-289-3276. We only have to move 63 tickets right now to get under 3,000. 1-888-289-3276. Now, I want to tell you about this Twin Falls Lodge. Now, the early bird prize, which isn't going to be until April the 27th, is the 3-day fishing trip for $5,000. That Twin Falls Lodge is on the Churchill River, right between Robertson and Twin Falls waterfalls, and great fishing for those who want northern pike and walleye. So 85 chances to win. Let's make it happen this afternoon. 1-888-289-3276.
Give your crop the best chance for success with Power Rich Fertilizer. Here's Sales Manager Ken Barrowman.
For over 40 years, Power Rich Fertilizer has been supplying farmers with high-quality nutrients. Higher quality, more plant availability, letting you apply less product. Less handling, less filling, more seeding. Have our agents come to your farm to discuss the Power Rich advantage.
Call Power Rich Fertilizers today, 1-800-663-GROW, or visit PowerRich.com. Power Rich Fertilizer. The future is right in front of you, if you're ready for it.
Southie Mainline has gone crazy with over $260,000 in total discounts across our remaining 2024 vehicles. Our 2024 inventory is all priced to move with unbeatable discounts. From $2,000 off to $16,000 off. These deals are too good to last. Visit SouthieMainline.ca for more details. Southie Mainline Chrysler, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
What are you planting this spring? Whatever it is, you'll find the seed you need to give your crops a great start at Lakeside Seeds, your Secan dealer in Wynyard. They carry a complete line of cleaned and certified cereals, peas, and more. Ask about AAC Elida VB Spring Wheat, CDC Bow Malt Barley, and CDC Roland Flax varieties. The best crops and the best yields start with top quality seed from Lakeside Seeds. Call today, 306-554-2078. Lakeside Seeds, your Secan dealer in Wynyard, 2 miles east and 1 mile south of Defo.
This winter, make sure you have tires that are ready to handle the snowy and icy roads and get them at Quality Tire. If you don't have winter tires, this is the time to get them. At 7 degrees Celsius, the rubber on all season tires start to harden in the cold. With winter tires, you'll be able to stop sooner and avoid the accident in front of you. And start driving quicker in case the car behind you doesn't have winter tires from Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca.
From the SAS Today newsroom, here's what's making news in Saskatchewan.
Farmland values increasing in 2024, but at a slower rate than the year before. Now tariffs and trade with the U.S. could weigh heavy on this year.
SAS Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. Sign up for our daily news digest, making the news even easier to access. SAStoday.ca. Everybody has a story. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
Get your equipment out of the rain and snow and under the roof of a new storage building from Olympic Buildings. Have a warm, dry place to work and keep everything out of the cold. Olympic Buildings. Buildings to meet your budget. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
With Seco Clean Surface Paint, stress less about life's unavoidable stains. Its ultra-washable finish makes cleaning walls a breeze. Sorry, Crayon Mark. Better luck next time, Smudge. Save 30% until April 2nd. Seco? See color.
This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It is for Nelson Holmes on this Friday. It's Barney Shankara, Colson, and the Sheriff. Alan with us. Chris Harris will join us in the back half of hour one here. Dave Thomas still here, and Tegan, the new member of the Rider Broadcast Network team, will be doing post-game show and sideline. You're going to be putting on miles.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be figuring out the sneaky elevators to take to get down.
Make friends with all the security guards. Try to find as quick ways to get there. And comfortable shoes.
Smart. Yeah. What kind of footwear did you wear back in the day?
Actually, the one thing this isn't a joke, like get thick-soled shoes. Because when it's
like Jimmy on Seinfeld had,
very much so. But like literally do it, because when it's 30 degrees, the turf is probably going to be 42, 45 degrees, and you'll burn the soles of your feet. I did that Labor Day in 2011, I believe it was, and no, like I could barely walk, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like something is wrong with me, and they're like, well, were you down under? And this is the old Mosaic Stadium, right? It's the old turf at Taylor Field, right? And
melting your shoes.
They said, no, look at your feet. And so my feet were definitely red because they were burnt.
Burnt the soul. Isn't that a country song? Somewhere burnt
it could
the
be.
soles of my
could be.
We got a few text messages on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Since 1986, big jobs, small jobs, you get to deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street here in Regina. Brandon, big Rider fan, always texting in, especially during Rider season. Awesome, guys. My wife said that was what the pre- and post-game show was missing, taking an awesome show even higher.
No pressure.
There you go. And then Kelly, so that's Kelli in Calgary. Whoa, what an addition. So happy to have a female back on board. Welcome, Tegan. I'm a longtime female listener, and it's like Christmas Day. Yahoo. Kelly, and see, look at
hell yeah, that's great.
There you go.
I love to hear that.
936-6262 if you want to pass on some nice words to Tegan here. Okay, so what favorite Rider memory for you? Like, I'm old, so for me it's always 89.
Yeah,
because I was a youngster, and it's like, whoa, the Riders won.
Yeah.
For you, what is it?
Well, there's been a couple wins since then. Yeah. 2013. Sticks out in my brain. So that is actually mine and my fiance's anniversary. Kind of, well, we started dating, but we didn't really have a firm date. But that was when I met his parents. Oh. So my in-laws. And we couldn't get a ticket to the game here, so we watched it in Moose Jaw at their house. I don't know if you remember that game. It was high scoring for the Riders.
Shootout.
Like 45 points.
Yeah.
And his dad, my fiance's dad, was pouring shots every time they would score. I don't remember the fourth quarter necessarily. Granted, this was in my 20s. I think I was 20 years old. And, oh, man, I could not do that today.
Shots of what?
I think it was whiskey.
Oh, hardcore.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Wow.
Oh, Dane.
Dane?
Dane.
Let's give him a shout out. Whiskey shots. I thought you were going to say like something easy like Butter Ripple.
Butter Ripple schnapps.
Yeah, something.
I'd probably get
Hot
a cavity.
100.
Oh.
Hot 100, but yeah, whiskey.
Yeah.
It's a lot of whiskey.
Yeah, the first three quarters, very, very memorable.
What's your favorite memory? I've never asked you this.
2013 is up there as a broadcaster, for sure. I got to do the sidelines of that game. The other one that really stands out was years ago, and it's going to drive me nuts that I think it was 93, it might have been 94, was when there were still American teams in the league. And you remember the Riders, again, it was just, at that point, it was just so cool to go to the game, and they just let everybody in, right? So, like, Hemorrhoid Hill would be packed always on Labor Day, right?
Yeah.
And there was 50-some thousand for the Sacramento Gold Miners. David Archer was the quarterback, and they came in, and it was a last-second kick, game won by kicker Dave Ridgway. And the fans we were storming the field because we were, basically we were standing on the sidelines because, hey, you got whatever, come on in.
Like a college game.
Go. Yeah, it was terrific.
That's cool. I actually, 89, but when they beat Edmonton to get to 89,
yeah,
because Tracy Ham, Gizmo, we had no business going into Commonwealth and winning.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wow, we get to go to and then that's when Skydome was just opening.
Yeah.
People were taking buses from Saskatoon and Regina all the way. It was crazy. So you talked about this year, and just you don't have to learn a lot of new names, but there is so much excitement out there. Like, you must talk to a lot of people as well. It's with Mace and the culture and Mueller and then Harris and just the group coming back. Like, the excitement is something special.
You know what? I'm fortunate enough to actually be the in-game host for the Regina Pats, so I have an opportunity to speak with a lot of season ticket holders and have conversations, and just the excitement generating around the season is unlike any other off-season that I can remember. Just in speaking with casual fans. I myself, up until this point, casual fan, I am pumped about this upcoming season. I think no one expected the West Final last season. Let's go even further this year,
What are you hearing out there?
There's a lot of excitement because from what I hear, people believe that the needs that the team had last year that might have been deficiencies have been addressed. The needs that some are identifying, and this is not Dave Thomas, this is me reporting, but getting a more improved pass rush, a more consistent pass rush. You bring in Mike Rose, for example, right? That's a pretty good guy right off the hop. And then you got some other guys that follow, like Shane Ray, right? Like, the pass rush has been identified. The ratio is going to be changed when you bring in Tavon Campbell, right? You heard Justin Dunk talk about it, and it's absolutely true. It's a position that not a lot of Canadians start. So that's a ratio changer. So there's a lot of optimism in that and stability, right? Because a lot of times in the past, right, when you're not winning, you got to make changes. And when you are winning, you can go ahead and start to build on that. And that's why the term consistency has been used by quarterback Trevor Harris, the fact that the core is coming back, and it's an all for one, right? Everybody's going to go ahead and they've had to do their part. Some have had to adjust their contracts or whatever the case may be, but they're all in.
Yeah, it's an exciting year coming up. So excited for you. You'll be nervous that first game, right?
Oh yeah. God, I was nervous coming in here today.
This is a circus.
Well, I've learned that very quickly. And man, are these lights ever bright?
Yeah. Well,
now I know why you guys had a fan outside the room for a while there.
Let's not even go down that. The temperature in this room over there. Tegan, this is awesome. Like I said, I know because we talk in the hallways once in a while. You're a Bengals fan. Which,
hey, whoa.
Yeah,
easy.
They're spending money weirdly.
Some crazy contracts, yeah.
But you're a football fan, and you get it. So I think this is a great addition to the team, just front to back, Dave. It's kind of like the Riders, right? Like, year one, team was awesome. Little addition here. They're running a parallel.
Well, and if you missed any of it from last year, go to our YouTube channel, right? And you can actually follow along everything that was done last year. It's an exclusive video opportunity. You hear it, of course, on the radio as you're driving into the game. But again, if you're getting ready for the game, you can go ahead and you can watch. You can see some of the guests. Like Randy Ambrosi announces his retirement. 90 minutes later, he's on with us on the pregame show. So, again, it's a standard that has been set by people way better and smarter than me, and I'm just happy to be part of the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the team, Justin Dunk, Wes Cates, Colson, unbelievable job producing.
Yes.
Curtis and Ryan in the back end, making sure that those guys, because when people don't see it, they don't hear it. We're going off the air, and then they're going to like a standby, and they're getting batteries. And then the other thing too, all the time, is the visiting teams, when their stuff goes down, they have to go and scramble and get them back on the air.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, yeah, kudos to everyone on the Rider Broadcast Network team. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tegan, thanks for staying late and coming in here to the circus.
Oh, thanks. No, I appreciate you bringing me on. This was a lot of fun.
You're going to be on lots.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime.
We need the dirt from the sideline. What did you hear? Peeking in the tent. I like that move. That'll be good.
That's yeah.
And Dave, you're back to the Combine, not today, tomorrow?
I will be there. Yeah, they're just wrapping up the bench press right now, and then they'll be back on the field tomorrow and on Sunday. And tomorrow's going to be an interesting day because there's not a lot of hitting, but it's going to be physical. I'll let you decipher that.
So, and then we got 2 interviews coming up. Mark Killam from the Edmonton Elks. You talked to him, and then what's the other one?
Then Chase Tatarin. He's from the University of Alberta. He's a linebacker. He is an amazing pass rusher, and I was actually talking with one of the U of A broadcasters who heard that he was coming on today. And so he said, you're going to have him. He goes, to tell you the truth, we don't do him justice because he kicks around. I'm sorry, I'm reading my phone. He kicks around all game long, and the next thing you know, he's got 8 tackles and 2.5 sacks. He just does it quietly. And he's one of those guys that I think is going to garner a lot of attention.
Again, thanks, guys, for stopping in. We'll go to a quick break, come back. Chris Harris is going to join. We are here until 5:30. Then it's the Pats and the Brandon Wheat Kings, the Sports Cage, on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM on location.
Hi there, it's Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto, and we're certainly moving tickets, that's for sure. We've had lots of calls from Regina, Craven. Need a few more calls from that Bethune, Lumsden, Finlater, Davidson area. We had a couple from Craik yesterday as well, so thank you very much, and keep those calls coming. The 30th annual Spring Fever Lotto is back. And boy, some incredible prizes up for grabs. The 30 very early buyer prizes will be awarded this Sunday, but the big one for $150,000 isn't until May the 25th. Now that 50-50 is over $51,000 take home. How about that? Tickets are $100 each, 3 for $250. That mega pack, 6 tickets and 20 50-50 tickets for $500. And well, if you're involved in sports or your kids are involved in sports, you probably know that, I know what I could do with the $150,000. I could probably use that for registration fees, equipment, stuff like that. 1-888-289-3276. 1-888-289-3276.
Louis Dreyfus Yorkton is expanding to meet the growing canola demands of tomorrow. If you still have canola to market, LDC Yorkton offers nearby space with highly competitive basis levels. Don't miss the LDC Next Era program, which still has a few acres available for this crop year, offering extra premiums on top of those great basis levels. Canola deliveries are accepted Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. LDC Yorkton, a name you know, a name you can trust. Call 1-877-782-8882 or visit LDCYorkton.com.
Busy Bee Doors is owned and operated by a trade expert with more than 4 decades of door repair experience. With Busy Bee, you receive the knowledge and experience that you and your garage deserve. And they can usually repair most door problems on their first visit. Their services include installation, maintenance, repairs, and the satisfaction of having your garage free of rats and anything else that can otherwise sneak in there. Call Busy Bee Doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Killam Solar Livestock Watering System. With the Killam Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Killam Solar Livestock Watering System at killamsolar.com. Killam Solar, we move water.
Future Ford has been serving the Melville area for over 30 years. They've had some changes over the years, but the one thing they focus on is the future. Their staff are ready for what's to come. Ford Tech is changing all the time, with new connected vehicle technology like EV, self-driving, and more. They are part of a large dealer group with access to hundreds of vehicles of all makes, so they can help you find yours. Check out their full inventory 24/7 and book a test drive today at www.futureford.ca. Get ready to drive into the future. Why? Because the future is Future Ford.
Here at Home Hardware's Bring Beauty Tone Home Reno sale, everyone's saving on everything they need to tackle their reno project. Like bringing their living room into this century with 25% off Canadian-made Beauty Tone Pure Interior and Specialty Paint. Or tackling that bathroom reno with up to $200 off Max Shower Units. That's better. Earn and redeem Scene Plus points during the Bring Beauty Tone Home Reno sale. On now at Home Hardware and Building Centers.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Saskatoon area, call Kurt at Canadian Timber Homes or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com, on our YouTube channel, and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Yeah, that's the Rider broadcast team. Nice to have Tegan in and Dave. Justin Dunk joined us. If you missed it, you can go pick it up in podcast form later. It'll be an exciting year for a lot of reasons. Colson, Allen, and Harry is now with us, joining me on the feed. Chris, we've been talking football here, talking the Combine. I was there today. I was watching, like I said to Dave when we started the show, it is amazing how the size of these guys and how they can move. Now, you're a fitness guy. You've done a lot of those, the Tough Mudders and those that 99.5% of the population can't do. You're right there. Fitness-wise, training-wise, where we are in 2025, like if you scale it back 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, what's been the change? Is it supplements? Is it how people are working out, the kids at a certain age?
I think, well, if you're going all the way back to talk about like kids, it's definitely like nutrition, rest, like diet, all that stuff is just, it's way more dialed in than it used to be. So definitely there's more attention paid to those things. I mean, God, even at the professional level, you hear about guys talking about how they used to smoke in the dress. I mean, we talked about it a few months ago where like gaming has replaced going out for beers, it's just a total mind shift where it's just run so much more as a business all the way down to even kids level. There's so much more at stake now. In theory, there's more at stake. Really, there is no more at stake than there used to be, but people's perception of what's at stake is just magnified. So I think it's just more, more emphasis put on the rest and the growth and that stuff.
When athletes are getting to that late teens into 20s, and we've joked a number of times on this show as well, as like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was like creatine and Ultimate Orange and these supplements that you'd pound in your body, and then this protein that was mixed with a ton of carbs, and it was like what were we thinking back then? But the supplement game, from what I see, has come so far.
Oh, God. You walk into a supplement world and it's overwhelming because there's so many things that do so many different things. And like, you got to stack this with this, and you got to put this before, and you got to have this during, and you got to have this after, and then you got to have this 2 days out. And it's ridiculous. It'd be overwhelming. If you had no knowledge, you could spend $1,000 in one trip. Just all the things that you could use.
Yeah. It's intense. Okay, so let's go down the hockey road here, and we'll start with the Western.
So much.
Let's start with the Western Hockey League for extreme hockey and sports. Spring sports around the corner here. They can help you out. Spring hockey, baseball, now lacrosse, everything you need at Extreme Hockey, the local store in Regina. The Western Hockey League. So you and I haven't talked on the show here in a little over a week. Saskatoon, Prince Albert. That second place in the Eastern Conference is up for grabs. There's 4 points on the line in the old-fashioned home and home. Tonight in Saskatoon, they're expecting like 10,000 people at Sask Place. You and I, back in the day when we were covering this, that like if they meet in the playoffs, it's awesome. But what a great way to end the season with so much on the line.
If you're working in this world, like these are the days, these are the weekends that you get jacked for. The schedule maker, the WHL schedule maker, just must rub their hands and give them the biggest pat on the back and be like, yeah, I saw this coming. Like I knew this would be huge. I knew this was going to be crucial. 10,000 people. It's fan appreciation night. It's unbelievable. It's kind of like what you build all season for are nights and weekends like this.
And Medicine Hat and Calgary are tied with 94 points in the top of the Eastern Conference. And it's, again, the schedule maker, you can rub his hands again, how it shakes down. Because if we go tonight, Lethbridge is in action. Where is it here? It ends, there you go. There's the standings up on the stream if you're watching the stream. But if it happens that they're tied after tomorrow, Medicine Hat has to play Lethbridge, which is a tough one. Calgary plays Red Deer, and Strucha's boys are not going to roll over. But it goes down to Sunday. They play each other. Medicine Hat, Calgary, possibly for first place in the Eastern Conference. Again, schedule makers just sitting there. But the wild thing is, Harry, I don't know how much you've been paying attention to this. There's never been, I don't think, more of a microscope that I remember on the last 3 teams, the last place teams in the league. Because you sit, Moose Jaw's got 36 points. Regina and Kelowna both have 40. Regina, they start the home and home with Brandon tonight in Brandon, right here on 620 CKRM. The pregame show starts at 5:30. And Moose Jaw has got Swift Current. Now, we don't want to say, hey, they're going to be throwing the game, but you don't want points there. You want the best odds possible. And for Moose Jaw, it doesn't matter because Edmonton gets their pick. But let's be honest. And if Tegan was still here, she's a Moose Jaw gal. Moose Jaw doesn't want to do any favors to Regina.
No, definitely. I mean, it's always that thing where you kind of relish the ability to play spoiler late in the year. But at the same time, if you can play spoiler by losing some games, that's also not the worst idea in the world. So it's kind of like that classic catch-22 where, yeah, you want to go out and your compete level's high, but losing isn't the worst thing in the world to happen, especially if you can give it to some teams that you don't normally want to help out.
AAA Midget tonight. Game 5, 7 p.m. in Moose Jaw. Swift Currents in town. Winner take all to take on the Regina Pats Canadians in the AAA final, which will start Sunday afternoon. We retweeted that out. We did get word. They don't know who they're playing yet, but Sunday afternoon at C6 at the Sixer. And I want to say it was 3:30 game time. Give me a sec. 3:30 is game 1. Junior B, it's do or die for the Regina Capitals. 7-game series. Fort Knox up 3-0. 7 p.m. at the Al Ritchie here in Regina. Capitals, the backs against the wall, do or die, use whatever cliche you want. But I joked yesterday. It's like, I don't know. Do you say, hey, look what the Edmonton Oilers did last year, guys? Just find a way to win one. And let's roll in. I want to give a shout-out, Junior C in Wolseley. It's the final, Game 1. Wolseley's home to Yellowgrass. Thanks for the note we got in on this one. 8 p.m., and they got a Game 1, a Billy Guarantee $1,000 50-50. I bet you it's going to be more, for sure, than that. Over to the SJHL. Starts tonight in Yorkton. Melville, Yorkton. Friends, family members won't be talking to each other for the next week. These two teams go at it. Weyburn taking on the Battlefords, the 6th seed Battlefords, Martin Smith's crew down in Weyburn. That one tonight. Flin Flon is welcoming Humboldt, and the number 1 seed Melfort Mustangs start things off with the Kindersley Clippers. Just an exciting time for hockey. Did you catch what happened in the in CIS hockey or U Sport hockey, whatever they're calling it this year, yesterday?
The 5 overtimes. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's a great time of year. Like, God, there really is nothing like playoffs in any sport, but especially hockey at whatever level. There's just that, I don't know if it's just a Canadian thing or a Saskatchewan thing, but there's something about playoff hockey that just is amazing. Just makes your hair stand up.
The 5 overtimes is just the start of it, because the other game was the number 1 and number 8, which
University of New Brunswick.
Yeah, New Brunswick, who was number 1, against Ottawa, who technically their hometown, it's supposed to be neutral site, all that stuff. But Ottawa upsets New Brunswick in overtime.
Yeah,
it's like both games yesterday were just nuts. And then, Concordia beats Moncton 4-2. And then U of S plays Queens at 5 p.m. our time today.
Yeah, so the U of S Huskies, and I know there'll be a lot of Husky fans listening, they are at 5 p.m. our time. They win, they play Concordia. How it goes down. 5 overtimes. Speaking of supplements.
Yeah.
What are you putting in your body? And that's game 1 of the tourney. Like, that's the problem.
There's not enough orange slices in the greater Ottawa area that could fuel those two teams.
How many supermarkets are downtown close to the rink? So we'll see what the Huskies can do. Shout out on the curling front, Canada. Rachel Holman will not get a bye. They have to play Scotland tonight to get into the semis. Scotland beat them in the regular portion of the event, so Canada will take on Scotland. We got a load of senior hockey going on, too. We have the senior hockey report coming up in hour 3 before we throw it to the Pats game. But provincial, the big one tonight, I think, provincial be Moosomin, home to Davidson. 8 p.m., Moosomin is down 1-0. That rink will be absolutely electric. No doubt about that. We also got Qu'Appelle Valley Highway Hockey League Game 3, 8 p.m., tomorrow in Raymore. Tonight, I want to go to the Sask East here. Kenora is hosting Rocanville. They're up 1-0 in the league final. And shout out Nauticue. Cody Glyden is still in Assiniboia, I think. They got a big one there tonight. Assiniboia hosts Yellowgrass. Yellowgrass trying to stay alive in the Nauticue there. So that's a quick rundown of everything going on local. A lot. Like you said, Harry, it's just a great time of the year.
2 things, if we've got time before we got to take a break.
Yeah.
One, that Midget AAA series, it's crazy because I know they're young kids, but you wonder, like, the scar tissue, you hope they don't have any mental scar tissue at 15, but, like, you're up 2-0, and then you lose the next 2. So whose back's against the wall? The team that blew the 2-0 lead, or the team that feels they've got nothing to lose because they were down 2-0? So that's a great game right there.
Good point.
And the other one, if there's anybody from the Saskatoon Blades listening, your 50-50 online is not working. So you need to correct that, because if you want people to buy tickets like this guy for the guaranteed 25 grand, you got to make sure your website link works.
Is that what the guarantee is?
Yeah.
25 large.
Yeah.
Oh. We're coming up there tomorrow, and I'm tossing the idea around. So how does it work, though? If PA wins, then the game tomorrow means something.
Yeah.
Saskatoon wins, I think it doesn't. So I'll be watching that one. Not that I'm going to root against the Blades or the Raiders. I want to go watch an unreal hockey game at the Art Hauser Center possibly tomorrow night. 25 grand.
Yeah.
There's so much to get to. We got to talk NHL in hour 2. officially have no idea who's making the playoffs.
Yeah, it changes hour to hour. It's ridiculous.
It's so awesome. I'm very glad I am not a hardcore fan of any of these teams, because the blood pressure and just the stress of it all, I have no idea what's going on. We're going to start hour 2 coming back. We're going to dive into hoopla that's going on in the province. Great event. Dave Thomas will be talking to one of the competitors out at the Combine, clutch performer, and then we'll hear from Mark Killam, the new man in charge in Edmonton with the Elks. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com, on X, and of course on the radio, the mighty 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM on location.
It's Cody Glyden back here in Assiniboia, the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto, which was a big contributor to the Southland Co-op Center, home of the Assiniboia Senior Rebels. Big game tonight against Yellowgrass, 8 o'clock, and it is going to be a jam-packed arena. And they proved that they can have SJHL games in here. Weyburn Red Wings played a few games here, and the attendance was really, really good. So much support for the hockey teams here, and in turn, they want to support you with $150,000 just for a $100 investment. That's it. That's a pretty sweet investment, right? $100 getting you $150,000. And if you call right now, you're going to be in for all 85 draws. Now, you can wait till next week or the week after, but then you're only going to be in for 55 draws. Why would you want to wait when you could call now and be in for 85 draws, 85 chances to win in the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto? That 50-50 up over $51,000 take home. Tickets $100 each. Ask about that mega pack when you call in. Toll-free Visa MasterCard, 1-888-289-3276, 1-888-289-3276.
He's at it again. Matt sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till April 2nd, conquer pet hair like a pro with the Maytag Pet Pro System laundry pairs. Get a Maytag 5.8 cubic foot Smart Pet Pro front load washer and 7.4 cubic foot electric dryer for just $26.98. Or get the Maytag 5.4 cubic foot Pet Pro top load washer with 7.4 cubic foot dryer for just $2,098. See in store for details. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
Come join an unforgettable evening at the Regina Red Sox Dinner and Auction on Saturday, April 26th at the Turvey Center. This year's special guest will be Saskatchewan Roughriders head coach Corey Mace and offensive coordinator Mark Mueller. Pre-dinner drinks will start at 6 p.m. and dinners at 7. And don't forget the live and silent auction. Tickets are available at reginaredsox.com. Get your tickets now for the Regina Red Sox Dinner and Auction Saturday, April 26th. And support Regina Red Sox Baseball. Presented by Dusick & Barlow Insurance at SGI Canada. Play ball!
Truck Month is back at Capital GMC, and the massive savings have arrived. Lease a 2025 GMC Sierra for just $99 a week, or finance a Sierra for as low as 0%. Save over $13,000 on a brand new GMC Sierra 2500 HD Denali. Or check out something certified pre-owned. They all come with manufacturer's warranty, roadside assistance, and more. Get the best deals, get the best experience. It's Truck Month at Capital GMC in Regina. Lease payment applicable with $5,500 down payment. See dealer for details.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Strasbourg, Last Mountain Lake area, call Dean at Solid Works Carpentry or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Outfit your spring adventures with Bass Pro Shops. Whether you're casting your first line this season or looking to level up your hiking boots, we've got everything you need to get outside and explore. See more at basspro.ca.
Olympic Buildings is looking for post-frame building crews to construct their post-frame buildings. This can be from any part of the province, and they'll pay better than industry average. To talk about getting your company to construct their buildings, visit olympic-buildings.ca.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's mostly sunny and it's -6 in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with 620 CKRM News. The Saskatchewan RCMP is investigating a suspicious death on Carry the Kettle Nakota Nation. At around 3 a.m. today, the File Hills First Nations Police Service responded to a report of a sudden death. The victim is an adult male, but no suspects have been arrested or charged. The RCMP Major Crimes Unit is leading the investigation, with increased police presence expected in the area. Authorities say they will provide updates as more information becomes available and will alert the public if any safety concerns arise. Pierre Poilievre, Conservative leader, has announced a plan to boost training and jobs for workers in skilled trades. Poilievre says if elected, his government's plan will offer apprenticeship grants, faster employment insurance for apprentices, and more money for training halls.
Conservatives will provide funds to union training halls like this one for machines, bricks, mortar, walls, floors, all of the above, with the goal of training 350,000 apprentices and other trades workers over the next 5 years.
Poilievre says he'll work with the provinces on his More Boots, Less Suits plan to harmonize health and safety regulations so workers can work anywhere in Canada. An Ontario court has given Canada's oldest company permission to liquidate all but 6 of its stores starting on Monday. The approval from Ontario Superior Court Judge Peter Osborne allows Hudson's Bay to begin selling off inventory at the bulk of its 80 stores. Lawyer for the employees Andrew Hatney says today's decision did not give him optimism for the long-term health of the company.
I don't want to sound too pessimistic, but we didn't hear encouraging comments from company counsel. There's no plan for those stores. They have a very short time window. Those are the words they used. So I think those 6 stores, it will be helpful for the employees in the very short term. How this turns out is a big unknown for the 6 stores.
Hatney called today terrible for both Hudson's Bay and the employees. Police seized about 1 kilogram of cocaine during a traffic stop on Highway Number 1 west of Regina. At around 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday, the Saskatchewan RCMP roving traffic unit pulled over an SUV. With help from a police service dog, officers found the drugs inside the vehicle. A 41-year-old man from Calgary was arrested. He faces charges of trafficking cocaine and possession for the purpose of trafficking. The suspect is scheduled to appear in Regina Provincial Court on May 29th. And some voice actors are embracing AI's potential, while others worry it's coming for their jobs. Voiceover actor Jesse Adam from Saskatchewan has been watching the rise of artificial intelligence with a wary eye. Over the course of his decade-long career, Adam has lent his voice to dozens of projects, including Marvel video games and Starbucks commercials. With AI capabilities advancing at a seemingly exponential rate, he realizes he faces an uphill battle. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620CKRM.com. Your weather is next.
A houseboat vacation with Twin Anchors is like no other. Tour Shuswap Lake, Canada's houseboating paradise. It's a wild and rugged adventure home to pristine, sandy beaches, towering waterfalls, and warm, clear water. The wildlife surrounds the area's 30 marine parks. And while the scenery may be rugged, your accommodation aboard a Twin Anchors houseboat certainly isn't. With 12 styles of houseboats to choose from. Visit twinanchors.com to find the perfect boat for your adventure.
The Beach Boys, Endless Summer Gold. Friday, March 28th at Branch Center. The music, the memories, the Beach Boys. Riding an endless summer wave. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.ca. Don't miss the Beach Boys, Endless Summer Gold, live.
And now your 620 CKRM precision weather forecast for Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, mostly cloudy with some flurries or freezing drizzle. A low of -8, but the temperature rises overnight. Tomorrow, light snow developing at about 1 centimeter and a high of -1 rather. And then on Sunday, early flurries and then partly sunny with a high of +1. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's mostly sunny. Winds are from the east at 26 and it's -3. Regina is also mostly sunny. Winds are from the southeast at 24 and it's -6. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to our daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Spring means sunshine, longer, warmer days, and the chance to get together with friends and family for a great home-cooked meal. You'll get the best ingredients for the lowest prices at Crawford's No Frills. From meat and veggies to drinks and dessert, Crawford's No Frills is your favorite place to go. Text your family, your friends, and tell them to come on over tonight because you're cooking a great meal courtesy of Crawford's No Frills. Say yes to Crawford's No Frills in Rosemont, Regina. They won't be beat.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hour 2 of the show on Friday, like he says, for Nelson Homes. It is so busy. We heard Cody Glyden, the smooth sounds of Cody Glyden there. Assiniboia rink's going to be packed. Moosomin rink's going to be packed tonight. Kenora, shout out my peeps in Kenora, Kishka country. They're taking on Rokenville. What else do we got in the area? I know the Wickenheiser. We got a big U13 provincial AA female game too, NOD style on the Wick. No concession there though. Bring your own snacks. A lot. And then if you're up in Saskatoon area, going to the Blades PA game, like Harry and I talked about earlier, it's tipping 10,000 people and $25,000 Billy guarantee for the 50-50.
It's a pretty good night right there. That's it.
Is it working? Evening. Is the link working?
I haven't checked back.
Okay, we gotta get in on that. I might throw a text to a couple of the brass up in Saskatoon and say, hey, I might get in on that. Wouldn't that be something? Driving home tomorrow, knowing I'm getting 25 large.
Use some of that so-called stroke guy you seem to talk about having all the time.
$25,000. What would be the first thing I would do in Saskatoon? $25,000. Go to the wave pool. They still have a wave pool in Saskatoon.
Penguin Park.
936-6262. If you want to get in on the conversation, you might want to get in on this part of the conversation. Ed Hervey is in CFL hot water for what he said about Gino Lewis. And Gino, so we go back, it all starts here. It all starts in this chair. We have Gino Lewis on the show. Great guy, very candid. Told it like it was, and he said, "Hey, Ed Hervey didn't even talk to me. I guess he talked to the agent." So then 3 Down Nation presses Hervey on it. If you haven't read the story, you can go and listen. We have it, I think, retweeted at sportscage.com. He didn't really want to get into it, and he's kind of pushed a bit on it, and then he goes off, and Harry, you can jump in here, but basically says it doesn't matter because there's no superstars in the CFL. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? There's no superstars, and first off, it's kind of subjective. there are superstars in any league, really, if you want them. How are we defining superstars? Hey, I think I grew up watching superstars and differently. What's your take?
See, this is kind of where our roads differ. Ed Hervey didn't say there are no superstars. He just said, I don't know any superstars in the CFL. I'm going to defend Ed on this. One, I don't like God, and see, these are things, this is why media bugs me sometimes, is that they pushed him and they pushed him and they pushed him because they wanted a soundbite. And he's like, I don't even want to talk about this. And he should have. He should have known it was a trap. You've been in the league long enough. He should have known better and said, you know what? It's done. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's move on to something else. And he even said off the start of his press conference, I'm going to give you short answers to the point. I'm not going to go into long rants. And he still got sucked into it. So that's on him. But at the end of the day, who cares what he says? He's one guy. Does Ed Hervey's voice define the entire CFL? Like, I don't like it. I don't think he does not owe an apology. So the CFLPA can fly a kite, because there's no way that Ed Hervey needs to come out and apologize for his statement. He's allowed to have an opinion. Like, I don't like it. I'm on Hervey's side.
I think he's definitely you can have an opinion, but sometimes I think you got to have there's got to be the consequence, and the stature that he's in on that team when the league is just trying so hard to make inroads and all that. Now, to your point, if this was a court of law, he does say, I don't know any superstar players in the CFL. So he could get off on a technicality there.
And it could also come down to, what does Ed Hervey believe constitutes a superstar? Like,
subjective.
Exactly. He might think a superstar is a guy who breaks every CFL record or who leads his team to an undefeated season. That could be his opinion of what a superstar is. So a superstar to me is probably different than what a superstar to you is as well. Like, it's totally subjective. You can't hold his feet to the fire just because he doesn't think they're superstars. And it's a label. Who cares what he defines a superstar as? The CFL can come out and say, we have plenty of superstars and here they are. And they can have all the other GMs or coaches or whatever come out and say, we have lots of superstars. Great. Ed's like, I don't know what a superstar is. He's not saying there's never been a superstar in the league or there never will be a superstar in the league. He just said, I don't know any superstars in the CFL.
Okay, so Cole, now you can go to the graphic, because just moments ago, the CFLPA came out with a statement basically shunning the comments of Ed Hervey. I have the screen here. They're disturbed by it.
Oh, God.
We call on Mr. Hervey to retract his statement and acknowledge the immense value and skill that CFL players bring to the sport. Now, I hate when you ask somebody to retract a statement. The statement's been done. The damage has been done.
That horse is out of the barn.
Yeah. What does retracting the statement do?
Yeah, it's
not like you bought a car and you can go and take it back and you get your money back.
No. I'm always a fan of stand on business. Own your words. You should think. We should hold people accountable. They said it. I own it. Yes. Am I sorry I said it? I'm only sorry because everybody got PO'd about it. But and really, CFL Players Association, you're deeply disturbed. Come on. Like, this is the hill you're going to die on, that Ed Hervey said there's no superstars, and that just derails what you've been building in the league. This is like cancel culture at its finest, and that drives me nuts. And so I don't like it. I think it's really thin skin on the CFLPA's part. I'm with Ed. I'm going to now hashtag I'm with Ed. Like,
start a movement. Start some sort of protest outside.
Yeah,
it'll work. Sure. It'll gain strength. I will go with the retracting of the statement now and coming out and saying whatever. Who gives a rip? Die on the hill. He guaranteed will because of the cancel culture, because of what's at stake. And I'm sure the owner will, as soon as he sees his phone ring, and what's the owner of the Elks now that almost drove over people on the sideline in the fire truck? He owns the lumber company. But as soon as he sees that call, he's like, all right, here it is.
Yeah. Larry Thompson
comes up on his phone.
I could talk about this for hours. The other issue that drives me crazy about this, is it sets that dangerous precedent. Media is always trying so hard to get players to open up, to be honest, to not give them canned responses, to not say, oh, we battled hard for 60 minutes. We got to take care of our own zone. We got to get pucks deep. You want people to have genuine reactions, then you can't cry about it when they do, because all that's going to do is make Ed Hervey be like, I'm not talking to the media at all. I'm only here so the league doesn't fine me, right? Marshawn Lynch. I'm only here so I don't get fined. So what is it? You can't have it both way, media and CFL. You can't have your players to want to engage and be personable, and then at the same time slap their hands for being honest or having an opinion. You can't have it both ways. You just can't.
Can he be the villain? Every good story's got a villain. Let Ed be the villain now.
Sure.
See, I don't agree with the comment. I don't agree with again, going into semantics about I don't know any superstars. I'm like, oh, what are you saying? You gotta. But he did, like, as I started this whole thing with, they did poke and poke and poke and poke. It's like sometimes Mrs. S and I have a fight. And I get sucked in, and I'm like, but now, he's definitely going to. But
I hope he doesn't.
You can't take the words back. No. You hope he doesn't? You think he will, though?
I hope he doesn't retract it. I hope he doubles down. I hope he stands by it. I hope he stands by it. If he does, I will get an Edmonton Elks tattoo. If he doubles down and says, I stand by my comments, I own them, and no, we're making a stand. No more.
Hey, go after now, Ed, get banged up tonight in Regina if you're in town, and go right after the CFL PA.
No. Not a good idea. Don't get banged up tonight, Ed, in Regina. Just lay low. Just hide under a pile of coats and wait for everything to work out in the end. And just wait for preseason to start. Just decline all interview requests.
That's the other thing now. It's like he's not going to want to do any media.
Yeah.
With anybody, maybe besides the Edmonton Elks crew. Hey, little did I know a message to Gino Lewis back in whatever month would turn into this. Gino was a fantastic interview. Tell that guy that shoots it straight.
Yeah. And I was there for that interview, and I loved it too, and I thought it's great. Candor. But then again, same thing. If that would have backfired on him, then all that does is make him recoil and be like, well, I spoke my piece. I got in trouble for it. So now I'm just going to go back to generic, boring responses that everybody's heard 64,000 times. And nobody wants that. You can't have it both ways, people. You can't. I know everybody wants to have their cake and eat it too, but in this instance, you can't. You want them to engage. Oh, gee, we can't understand why Ed's so bitter and angry and doesn't give good interviews anymore. Really? You have no idea? Well, I could think of one, and now it's this situation.
So what are you thinking? What are you thinking for an Elks tattoo? Like a skyline view with Commonwealth in the background?
It's open to interpretation.
A picture of Ed with the middle finger?
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Hashtag I'm with Ed. I'm going to get it trending.
It was Valentine's Day when we had that interview, February 14th.
Was it?
Yeah, that long ago.
Not that. I thought it was longer than that.
The Valentine's Day massacre now.
The days are all blending together. So yeah, Let's see how this is. So you think you're hoping he doesn't retract and ideally double down?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
More coals on the fire.
Horse is out of the barn. What do you? Yeah, shovel a few shovelfuls of coal on it. That's the thing that bugs me, is that when these guys just don't own what they said. Yeah, I said it. I said what I said. Like, that's it. End of point blank. Period. I said what I said. I'm not taking it back. I'm not saying it again. Read it again. Watch it again. Whatever. I'm not taking it back. That's what I would love. I would love that. I would love it if anybody. And it's such a common occurrence. Everybody just walks it back. I'm sorry. Sorry you got caught. Sorry that people are offended. Sorry, whatever. I said it. I own it.
Yeah,
anything that comes out of my mouth, I own. Because I have enough brain power to think of things that people might find offensive before I say them.
See, I've always been on the other side. And I'm surprised I'm still doing this part of my life right here, because I am classic for not thinking before. That was like growing up. I think that was probably one of the things I heard the most from every teacher, parent, coach, rabbi, priest, everything. You do not think before you speak. No, you're correct. Now what? Are we done here?
Right. Yeah. Oh.
Tell me something I don't know.
Yeah.
Ace.
Newsflash.
I said I'd run down what's going on at Hoopla in Saskatoon. This event, if you got a basketball player in your life, maybe it's a grandkid or it's your kid or niece, nephew, whatever. This is awesome stuff. Quickly, in the 2A girls, it was Foam Lake over Kenaston in game 1, and then Priestville really beat up on Kerrobert. So Foam Lake and Priestville advanced there. That was the 1A girls, sorry. 2A girls, no score yet, waiting for scores to come in on the 2A side. 3A girls, nothing there. I should have maybe looked at this website. That's if there's one thing that I could lend to the Saskatchewan high school athletics is just a little more streamlined, just so I can read scores. And I'm probably the only radio show for miles and miles and miles that wants to hype up Hoopla, but I love it. Harry, like you remember back in the day.
Yep. Looking at the scores today, it just was like, oh, it's like a trip down memory lane.
Harvest City beat up Moose Jaw Vanier 80-48 there in 4A girls. And 5A girls, Regina Leboldus, big time over PA Carleton. It was Regina Miller shading Saskatoon. How good of a basketball game I don't even care if you like basketball, just for sporting. 59-58. Regina Miller, the Marauders.
And the next game was the same.
Oh, and then Winston Knoll over Walter Murray, 72-71.
Yeah, that's a good basketball game right there.
That is a really good. Those are two. And Regina both pull out over Saskatoon by 1 point. Swift Current. Wow, Swift Current ladies. They must be a buzzsaw because they beat up on Saskatoon St. Joseph 75-52. That was the lady side. Over to the men, the boys. 1A, no scores there. Priestville is the number 1 ranked team. St. Brews, the number 1 ranked team when it comes to 3A or to 2A. 3A, here we go. We got scores. Clavette. Clavette was good in high school football, too. How many of these kids are just plug and play athletes in Clavette? 75-50 over Oxbow. Regina Christian School, 80-58 over Waldheim. No scores to report yet from the 4A side of things. And then the 5A, Walter Murray, Saskatoon, 110-60 over Swift Current. Regina Riffle Falls to Saskatoon St. Joseph's, 82-70. It was Saskatoon Holy Cross almost putting up a Hyundai, 99-72 over Regina Campbell. And Regina Martin with a big win, 113 points to PA Carleton's 90 points. So, yeah, a little hoopla.
113 points in a high school basketball game is a lot of points. For anybody out there who's looking for context, that's a lot of points.
I thought 82 was a lot of points.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
there
If you're cracking the century mark, that's a solid night at the office.
We'll run down more locally, hockey-wise. If you're just tuning in hour one, we mentioned curling fans. Rachel Holman will play tonight against Scotland. They will not get a bye into the semis. They'll have to beat the Scots, who they lost to in the preliminary round. So Canada, Scotland this evening at the World Women's Curling. When we come back, we're going to hear from Dave Thomas chatting with one of the competitors at the CFL Combine, which started today in Regina. We need to know if Ed Hervey's in town. And what's the game?
Get him on the floor.
We have a mic. Get over here. I got a mic and a case of beer, Ed. Let her fly. It's
Safe space. Nothing but we're on your side, Ed.
Safe space. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. We're streaming on X. And as always, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. One full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
It's Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto. A shout out to Tom and Briarcrest. Called in, said, hey, I want to be in for all 85 draws. Tom is. So is Rachel in Assiniboia, listening to the radio this afternoon and decided, yep, I want a chance to win $150,000, and that could be coming your way in May. But first, it's the 30 very early buyer prizes. They're going to be awarded this weekend right here at Nelson GM. You know, if you're in the Assiniboia area right now, if you're coming in for the big Senior Rebels game tonight, stop on by Nelson GM right now, and we're going to be here till about 5 o'clock. You can stop in and get your ticket in person, or you can always call toll-free. Here's the number, 1-888-289-3276, 1-888-289-3276. One more time, 1-888-289-3276.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Whitewood-Moosomin area, call Richard and Patsy at R. Thompson Construction or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Well, hey there!
It's the Easter Bunny!
Oh, wow.
You don't want eggs this Easter. I know something better. Go to Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, because when you switch to SaskTel Infinite 300 plus TV, it's as low as $79.95 a month. You'll save up to $80 a month for 24 months.
I do like that better.
Bundle your internet and TV together and save. Contact Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
The wait is over. Moose Jaw is ready to host the BKT World Men's Curling Championship. Team Jacobs is your Team Canada. Be there to cheer on our nation's best as they take on teams from around the world and battle to be crowned World Curling Champion. Saskatchewan, let's get loud and proud. Single draw tickets available from just $15. March 29th to April 6th at Temple Gardens Center. Get your tickets now at curling.ca.
Every acre, every seed, every plant. The Fendt Momentum Planter makes everything count. Hydraulic delta force from Precision Planting creates specific downforce for each of the 48 row units across the 60-foot toolbar, which controls compaction, allowing you to make a big impact without leaving one. Grow bold with the Fendt Momentum Planter from Nick Service in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
My record-breaking Eras tour is wrapped. I think it's time to start my eyewear era. Could use a new pair.
You're in luck, Tay. Future Vision's in their 2-for-1 eyewear sale era. Right now, we can get the latest, hottest styles at a great price and get the second pair free. Let's head back to Saskatchewan. 2 pairs for you, 2 pairs for me.
We'll never be out of style.
Future Vision. Where'd you get those? All right now. Future Vision's a proud recipient of the Consumer's Choice Award 2024.
You know what they say about trust. Trust goes both ways. And hey, that doesn't just go for people. It goes for you and your vehicle too. If your vehicle seems to be telling you something's wrong, you have to trust that instinct. Visit your local Integra Tire dealer for all your car's mechanical service needs. You want tires you can trust from a dealer you can trust. Trust your locally owned Integra Tire dealers. Karst Holdings Assiniboia and Schlamps Tire Grenfell. Truly local.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Clutch Performer. Can we do a Clutch Performer if, like, in the future? It could be Ed Hervey. If he does not retract his comments, and like Harry says, even doubles down. We did have some text messages coming in, Harry, on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Roscoe figures the tattoo should go on your neck.
I gotta keep it. Gotta go below the neck.
Gary in Winnipeg. Ed had half a brain. All he had to say was no comment. Yes, for sure, Gary. And that's what he started the interview with.
Oh, did he try?
He tried so much. Tim, Jocelyn, Ryan, and Jay also saying Ed should not retract.
Yes,
he will.
Love it.
I think he will. Clutch Performer. Do we have the name of the gentleman who scored in the 5th overtime yesterday? And I know it's not local, and I like to keep this local, but this was unprecedented. U-Sport, the longest game in men's U-Sport hockey history yesterday.
Yeah, so I traditionally butcher hockey player names, so here we go again. Spencer Shugru is what it looks like to me. Yeah, scoring what would have been, I think, a little over 3 minutes into the 5th overtime period. So, yeah. Here's the play right now if you're watching the stream. Just a greasy goal in front of the net. Goalie's down.
Ugh.
But, hey.
Hate to see that.
Yeah, but at 5 overtimes, Harry, what else do you got?
True. Just throw it on net and bang away.
Yeah, and then also, got to give a Clutch Performer to the Ottawa BGs. GGs, whatever they are. GGs, thank you.
If they were the Bee Gees, that would be awesome.
Yeah, for upsetting the number 1 seed, getting the win same night. What a night for hockey.
Yeah, the GGs. Up, see you later, University of New Brunswick.
Yeah.
The 8th seed moving on.
One more Clutch Performer. The Mount Royal goaltender, in a losing cause, played the entire game.
Which makes sense.
143-ish minutes.
Did it say how many saves he had in
65.
See, that's I would have thought he'd been pushing a Hyundai.
Toronto Metro, the team who won, they did pull their goalie at some point. I don't have I could probably find it somewhere, but I haven't seen specifically. Their backup goalie did let in a goal, so I'm guessing they pulled their goalie sometime in the 3rd period just to mix things up, try and get it some momentum. And then let him go into overtime or not or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to know how that went down. We didn't watch that game. Who has that kind of time to watch 5 overtimes?
There's a few people in the crowd.
Two teams that you have no idea, unless you can gamble on it, I guess. And we'll just give a Clutch Performer also to Barry Gibb. Now you got me thinking about the Bee Gees as well. Do you have one, Alan?
Yes, I do. It is Colorado beating number 5 seed Memphis, which was coached by Penny Hardaway.
Oh.
So I didn't see that coming, and most of my brackets are now not really great.
Guaranteed a lot of people didn't see Colorado State, the 12 seed, beating Memphis. Penny Hardaway, Harry, Obviously, he was a basketball player in the NBA back in like the 90s. What was he famous for?
Yep.
Commercial?
Yeah, the
shoes.
Yeah,
Mini Penny.
Penny Hardaway.
Mini Penny.
Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway.
Thanks. Somebody messaged in here 936-6262. Clutch performer recognition. Cole Oswalt, captain of the Prairie Storm U18, out shooting Q-Par Southie last night in Game 3, 64-82, winning 6-0. Cole having 2 goals and an assist. So I think that is everything. Also, I want to give a shout-out. Somebody messaged in, too. First game of the U18B Male Hockey Provincial Final tonight in Porcupine Plain, home of Kelly Chase. They're taking Lumsden. Go Lumsden, he says, or she says. So, yeah, send it in. We'll mention it, 936-6262. Don't forget, we also had a message, Junior C in Wosley, home to Yellowgrass tonight, Game 1 of the Junior C Final, 8 p.m. puck drop, guarantee $1,000 on the 50-50 front.
Clutch performer, I don't know if you mentioned it this week so far, Husky women's basketball team, national championship.
On Monday, yeah, we did. They've come a long way, that program.
Yep. Third national championship, avenging last year's loss in the final. So huge props to those gals for, again, that's that mental scar tissue we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
In that position, can you learn from it, or does it cripple you going forward?
We will, Harry was talking about it earlier on Swift Current being up 2-0 on Moose Jaw in the Midget AAA semifinal. They're going to Game 5 at 7 p.m. tonight in Moose Jaw. Who's got the momentum there? Obviously, the momentum is with Moose Jaw, but does Swift Current, how do they rebound? They're young kids and they're coaches. It's like, hey, now we're here. Think of it as we get to split the gate. Think of it as extra money for the organization. If it's like senior hockey, it's a positive win-win. Clutch performer, always for Nick's service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077. So the Combine, like we said, talked about it in hour 1. You can go back and listen to it, is going on in Regina. Dave Thomas was there all morning. He caught up with Saskatoon's, the Saskatchewan boy, Chase Tataryn, after his workout this morning.
Chase, give me your impressions on the first morning.
It was a lot of fun. The numbers weren't as good as I was hoping for, but we'll put on the pads tomorrow and I'll prove myself there.
How hard is this to do in front of fans, yourself, and of course all the scouts and people that are here from the Canadian Football League?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. Once you kind of do a couple drills, it gets easier. By the end, it wasn't too much pressure, I felt. But yeah, at the start, it was definitely, heart was racing a bit.
So playing with the University of Alberta Golden Bears, this is kind of a homecoming to your home province. Have you got extra support that have come down to see you take part in this?
I asked my family to not come to the testing day just because I didn't want any extra pressure, but they are coming tomorrow and they're going to watch the practices on Saturday and Sunday.
So what do you want to show when it comes to, obviously the times are the times and the way the drills are run are the drills, but when it comes to those opportunities to take part in practice, what do you want to bring?
Yeah, I want to showcase all my football skills. I think my skills are pretty refined. I want to showcase my pass rush. I think I'm a good pass rusher. I think regardless of what that 40 said, I think I'm a fast player when on the field. Yeah, there's not really much hitting, but I want to show that I can be physical, especially with the O-line and the run game.
Take me behind what it's like for you at this Combine, because I know you get playbooks, right? You have to get your body right. You got to get your mind right. What's it been like?
Yeah, it's been, it's a lot, but I think it's been fun so far. The playbook's not too hard. It's mostly just the pressure of having all these eyes on you is the biggest thing. But yeah, I think I've been handling it well.
I can't imagine what the pressure would look like when it comes to the interview process. Have you met with, are you going to meet with teams?
Yeah, I have a couple interviews today and then one tomorrow. That's definitely the most nerve-wracking part of this process, I think. But yeah, I think after I get the first one under my belt, I think it'll be just keep getting better.
There's a few guys that are preparing for this in different ways, and they've said, hey, I'm prepared for oddball questions that may come from wherever. Have you done your homework?
Yeah, I think I have. I had a little practice interview with one of my coaches, AJ Gass. He threw some questions at me and gave me some advice on how I should answer them the best way. And yeah, I've been watching some of the interviews that the CFL's posted over the years and just trying to, like, pausing it and answering them myself and stuff like that.
You said that you were maybe feeling a little down after the times that you posted this morning. How do you rebound?
Just think about what's important now. That's behind us. The numbers are the numbers. I got a bunch of chances coming up to prove myself.
Athleticism, does it run in your family? Is it in your blood?
Yeah, I mean, my sister is really good at track. My dad played basketball and volleyball in high school. Yeah, I think so.
Who's going to be more nervous tomorrow than when your family does come? The family or you?
I think definitely my mom. I think my sister and my dad will be all good, but my mom will definitely be nervous.
Is she waiting by the phone for a text message from you to hear how you did?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, I won't keep you then. Go make the text message. Best of luck tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, Combine's going on in Regina. They were doing bench press today. I wanted to ask you this as the fitness guy. I remember old buddy of mine, Kurt Pakawa, used to say, bench press, the false indicator of strength. What would you do instead of bench press?
I would do something that's more dynamic, like a Turkish get-up or something with weights.
I have no idea what that is.
It's just, I mean, the weight isn't comparable, but I would agree with Kurt. Anything that's dynamic that requires you to move, that simulates rather than a static movement that bench press is. And bench press is such an antiquated form of fitness.
Like, I would think dips would be more so, or chin-ups. But chin-ups, I guess that's maybe this all arms, forearms, arms.
Yeah, pull-ups over chin-ups.
Pull-ups.
Chin-ups are easier than pull-ups. But
dips, yeah. I've always just been like, bench press. It seems archaic. We'll go to break here. We come back. We still have interview Mark Killam from the Edmonton Elks. We really like Ed Hervey to come down and let it fly on the mic. If you missed that part, we'll recap that in a bit as well. It's a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM on location.
It's the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto. I hope you're doing well. It's Friday afternoon. Give us a call here because on Sunday, the first 30 draws will be happening in the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto. $100 cash prizes. There's going to be the portable carpet cleaner or a folding utility wagon that could be coming your way. If you win any of those draws, then your name goes right back into the draw for a chance to win the 3-day fishing trip to beautiful Twin Falls Lodge on the Churchill River, northern Saskatchewan. It is just a breathtaking area up there. Fresh water, fresh air, just nice to get out of the city for a little while and enjoy some fishing. If that's not your thing, hey, that's okay. $5,000, maybe that's your thing. And then you're in for all the other draws too, including $150,000. That is big time money that you could use for a trip. You could use for renovations. Maybe you want to go and pay off that mortgage. Well, give us a call. You've got to have a ticket. 1-888-289-3276. 1-888-BUY-FARM.
Who's really on Saskatchewan's side? The Liberals? They imposed a carbon tax, clawed back our healthcare transfers, and canceled pipelines. The NDP? Jagmeet Singh always took Trudeau's side, keeping him in power so he could get his pension. Your Conservative MPs fight the carbon tax, support Saskatchewan's energy workers, and defend our health payments. Only Conservatives are always on Saskatchewan's side. This message brought to you by Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain.
Dinner served.
What's this?
Pizza.
Looks like cardboard.
It is. Cut into a circle.
What?
Hope you're hungry.
You wouldn't order cardboard for dinner, and that's not what you get when you order from Western Pizza.
Think I'll order Western Pizza.
They've got their pizza down to perfection. Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did.
Down here, I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Fort Capella area, call Calvin at 99 Builders or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
CoolBet has all the hot games. For all the free-to-play casino games, head to coolbet.co. They've got sports odds, including Saskatchewan senior hockey, plus all the sports odds you can think of, from the ice to the field to the court. CoolBet has you covered. All at your fingertips. No risk, just thrill. So why wait? Get in the game and embrace the unexpected at coolbet.co.
If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
All right. Welcome back. We're going to go to the ticker and everything local here in a bit, but let's go back out. Dave Thomas, earlier this morning, had a chance to catch up with Mark Killam from the Edmonton Elks.
What do you want to take away from this weekend observing the athletes?
You could take a lot of things away, and a lot of them are intangible. You know, what does an athlete's body language look like? You know, how is his hustle in between drills? You know, what's his eye contact with the coach? Does he take the stuff from the meeting room to the field? If he has a bad rep, what does his next rep look like? Those are all kind of things you can take away from seeing guys live.
When you're building culture, a lot of that comes down to personality. So would that mean that interviews maybe sometimes are more important than the way an athlete performs on the field?
Well, I mean, these guys can certainly go up or down in their interviews, without a doubt. You know, there might be a guy where you have to press him on certain issues, and you know, he owns it and responds really well, and vice versa could go the other way. And you kind of get an insight into the character of the player in those interviews.
You have been doing this for a while. This isn't new for you. First time as a head coach, though. Has that changed anything?
Not really. I mean, you know, I was on the team I was on before. The coaching staff was heavily involved with the draft. You know, I've carried a similar preparation mindset into this combine. It's a little bit different because of the way that our personnel department is set up and the way that we're interacting. But as far as my preparation to come here, very similar. I enjoy the combine. I enjoy seeing these guys face to face.
How excited are you for them to succeed? Speaking with former players after you were hired, right? Everything blew up on social media, which is so cool. And having an opportunity to speak with players and athletes that have interacted with you, they weren't surprised. And they said that that's just a foundation and a trust that you've built. Can you build that here?
I think you can start it. You definitely can start building relationships here. I mean, this is the next generation of superstars. You know, this is the next generation of impact Canadians and racial changers. So, you know, you definitely can start that. That's why I think this whole process is invaluable. You know, it gets guys in front of the coaches, the personnel people, and it's all football for the entire weekend. So I think it's a great atmosphere.
Has the athlete changed physically and mentally in a positive way over the last number of years, or is it more difficult to assess them knowing that they get so much coaching before an event like this?
Well, I mean, you can read through the scripted agent answers. For sure, you can read through that. But, I mean, I think the level of physical preparedness that these athletes have is tremendous. I think that has definitely gone up over the years that I've been involved in this. The players coming out, are very high quality, are very, very ready to compete right away, compete sooner when they enter the CFL, and I think that's a credit to them and all the work that they put in.
Is that also a testament to the improved coaching that they're receiving from high school on up in Canada?
No doubt. I mean, the grassroots programs are strong. I mean, you know, I know this province, football matters. In Alberta, where I'm from, football matters there as well. And I think you can go down through the levels, and it kind of gives me chills to see the level of coaching that they're getting, the level of development, level of commitment from the coaches to the players, and the vice versa, the players to the football programs. And I think that's showing up now and later on in those guys' career.
Now, you talked about this stage of the process, right? This is the next step towards building and assembling your roster. Have things gone like you wanted them to from the day that you took the job? Are you happy with the progress that you've made in getting that number set to where you're going to open the season with?
Yeah, I don't think you're ever happy. I think you're pleased with steps that you take in the plan that you have. I'm very confident working with Ed. We see things very similar. And I've spoken on that before, but when you do see things like that, it's easier to get things done that you want to accomplish. And I think, we've taken some really positive steps, and we're going to continue to build. And this is the next the step in the process of what we're doing, and we're just working towards training camp.
So is training camp coming quickly or not?
Well, it's coming quickly because I haven't stopped working since December 1st. But, I'm excited. I mean, the closer we get, football becomes a little bit more real. A lot of it is planning stages before and getting things lined up the way that you want. This is a little bit more real. Then the draft will come, and a week later we're in training camp with the rookies. So, I mean, it's right there. We're right on the doorstep, and just trying to build momentum towards that.
620 CKRM on location.
Hi there, it's Cody Glyden back in Assiniboia one last time today, just to remind you about the Assiniboia Spring Fever Lotto. Dwight in Stoughton gave us a call. He's in for the 85 draws. The first 30 draws will be happening this Sunday right here at Nelson GM, 2 o'clock. If you want to come on down and watch it, you certainly can. And the rest of the draws will be happening at a later date. Now, there's still some tickets available yet. You can still grab your tickets for that early bird draw, which is coming up on April 27th. $5,000 in cash, or that 3-day fishing trip to beautiful Twin Falls Lodge on the Churchill River. Then you're also in for that vehicle package, which is a 2025 GMC Hummer, or you can take the airplane, or your choice of farm pack, or $150,000. Wouldn't that be incredible to win right about now with the rising cost of everything? Put a little extra $150,000 in your bank account. That'd be a pretty nice phone call to get in May. Give us a call. Get in for all 85 draws right now. 1-888-289-3276. 1-888-289-3276.
Who's really on Saskatchewan's side? The Liberals? They imposed a carbon tax, clawed back our healthcare transfers, and canceled pipelines. The NDP? Jagmeet Singh always took Trudeau's side, keeping him in power so he could get his pension. Your Conservative MPs fight the carbon tax, support Saskatchewan's energy workers, and defend our health payments. Only Conservatives are always on Saskatchewan's side. This message brought to you by Andrew Scheer, MP for Regina Quappel.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
The wait is over. Moose Jaw is ready to host the BKT World Men's Curling Championship. Team Jacobs is your Team Canada. Be there to cheer on our nation's best as they take on teams from around the world and battle to be crowned World Curling Champion. Saskatchewan, let's get loud and proud. Single draw tickets available from just $15. March 29th to April 6th at Temple Gardens Center. Get your tickets now at curling.ca.
My record-breaking Eras tour's wrapped. I think it's time to start my eyewear era. Could use a new pair.
You're in luck, Tay. Future Vision's in their 2-for-1 eyewear sale era. Right now, we can get the latest, hottest styles at a great price and get the second pair free. Let's head back to Saskatchewan. 2 pairs for you, 2 pairs for me.
We'll never be out of style.
Future Vision. Where'd you get those?
All right now. Future Vision's a proud recipient of the Consumer's Choice Award 2024.
Southie Mainline has gone crazy with over $260,000 in total discounts across our remaining 2024 vehicles. Our 2024 inventory is all priced to move with unbeatable discounts. From $2,000 off to $16,000 off. These deals are too good to last. Visit SouthieMainline.ca for more details. Southie Mainline Chrysler, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Need to move canola? Louis Dreyfus Yorkton still has room to move your canola now with great basis levels. If you need to check bins and are looking for movement now, call LDC today. There are still a few more acres left in the LDC Next Era program with extra premiums above the very competitive basis levels. Find out why Louis Dreyfus Yorkton is a name you can trust with a web portal that keeps you up to date and delivery options that work for you. Call today 1-877-782-8882 or visit ldcyorkton.com.
Back to Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Thanks to Nelson Homes, our sponsor on Fridays. So, Harry, allegedly, I did throw out a text to some of the ups in Saskatoon Media or Saskatoon Entertainment Group, and they said that link is fixed. So $25,000 guarantee up there tonight for the 50-50. And then I just got an update. 10,370 tickets sold. So you know what the walk-up will be like. Now, what we're talking about the Saskatoon Blades and Prince Albert Raiders tonight. It's a home and home. These 4 points are huge. If Saskatoon wins today, PA has no chance of getting second, so the game tomorrow at the Art Hauser Center doesn't mean as much. Imagine the lineup of vehicles, because when they built that place, Harry, they weren't thinking of that many people, the size of the city now, right?
No. And since then, other buildings have popped up and other compounds have popped up, so it's just reduced the amount of traffic flow that you can have. So it's the same traffic flow it's had since '89. I think the city's grown a little bit since then.
Yeah.
Not a lot of forward thinking in that one.
The Regina Pats are doing the home and home thing with Brandon. Big points for Brandon. That game can be heard right here on 620 CKRM. The pregame show starts at 5:30. Moose Jaw's at Swift. Massive AAA midget game tonight. Game 5 in Moose Jaw. Swift Current. They were up 2-0, and now it's tied 2-2. Game 5, the winner will take on the Regina Pat Canadians starting Sunday, 3:30 at the Sixer. Prairie Junior Hockey League, their backs are up against the wall. The Regina Capitals need a win. They're down 3-0 in the best of 7 to Fort Knox. That game goes 7 p.m. at the Ritchie. Some Junior C action in Wolseley. Yellowgrass in town, 8 o'clock puck drop. SJHL. They've been waiting all week. We've been talking about it. The playoffs start tonight. The big one, obviously, Yorkton hosting Melville. Families will break up for the week. Marriages, those two towns, it's a big rivalry. They don't like each other when it comes to this. That one starts tonight. Battleford's traveling into Weyburn. Flin Flon welcomes Humboldt. And the number 1 seeded Melfort Mustangs are home to Kindersley. Curling, Rachel Holman didn't get a bye. She has to take on Scotland now, who dumped her in the preliminary round. So Canada will play Scotland tonight at the World Women's Curling Championship. We'll run down all the senior hockey in the Senior Hockey Report coming up in the next hour. And then one other note. We've been talking about the 5 overtime game at the U Sport yesterday where Toronto knocked off Mount Royal. And then there was the big upset. University of New Brunswick, the 8th seed. Ottawa was 8, beats the number 1 University of New Brunswick, the Ottawa GGs. Tonight, 5 p.m. Well, I guess tonight starts in 2 minutes. U of S Huskies versus Queens. The winner will play Concordia. So, I know there's a lot of Regina fans, a lot of Regina people that are like, I am never cheering for the Huskies. Just get on the wagon. You're not going to cheer for Queens. And they're coming off, the women are coming off the basketball national championship. I don't know, has there ever been a double banner, the U of S, that you can remember?
Not that I can remember. I'd have to look into it, do a deep dive, but I do not think so.
If it was probably back in the 80s. Wasn't as many schools.
No. At best, it would be like a wrestling volleyball thing where it's kind of like more of a. I don't want to insult the wrestlers and say it's a fringe sport, but I would say it's more of a lesser, not your big ones.
It is the Sports Cage. We're going to start hour 3 with Farhan Lalji from TSN live in studio. We'll have the Monday Nooner Senior Hockey Report, and then we're going to throw it to Dante. We're streaming on X at sportscage.com. You can always hear us on the radio, 620 CKRM.
Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Capel. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Police are investigating a suspicious death on the Carry the Kettle Nakota Nation. Just before 3 a.m. today, the File Hills First Nations Police Service responded to a sudden death report. The victim was identified as an adult male. The Saskatchewan RCMP Major Crimes Unit is now leading the investigation. No arrests or charges have been made. Residents may notice more police officers in the area as the investigation continues. Authorities say they will update the public if there are any public safety risks. Regina police arrested a 35-year-old man after a knife threat and kidnapping incident early this morning. Officers responded at around 12:30 a.m. to a business on East Quant Street, where the suspect allegedly threatened people with a knife. He then held a woman at knife point, forced her into a cab, and then fled. The woman later called for help, and police tracked the suspect to Toronto Street, where he was seen running with a firearm. After a short chase, officers arrested him without incident. The man faces multiple charges, including kidnapping and weapon possession. The annual ban on pruning elm trees in Saskatchewan begins on April 1st and lasts until the end of August. The ban helps prevent the spread of Dutch elm disease, a deadly fungal infection carried by elm bark beetles. These beetles are more active during warmer months and are attracted to fresh cuts on trees. Pruning during the ban period increases the risk of infection. Residents are also reminded that storing or transporting elm firewood is illegal, as it can spread the disease. With more people than ever legally lighting up joints or downing gummies, new research out of the U.S. suggests a strong correlation between marijuana use and heart disease. Here's reporter Jim Ryan.
Data on more than 4.6 million people shows that young marijuana users are 6 times more likely to suffer a heart attack than those who abstain. Researchers say cannabis may affect heart rhythm and raise oxygen demand in the heart muscle, even in people under 50 years old.
The study is published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. And the second season of sci-fi drama Severance is out on Apple TV+. The show follows employees at a shadowy corporation, Lumen Industries, who undergo a procedure separating their work and personal lives. While they are assured their work is mysterious and important, they begin to uncover the dark secrets of their employer, and their fractured reality threatens to implode. While fans binge the new series, Apple has already confirmed there will be a third season. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Oh, finally. There it is.
Whoa, did you order pizza?
No, even better. I called Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Oh, so what'd you order?
Well, they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features and so many great plans, man.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it is the pizza guy. Hey, guy.
Tell him to go away. We're waiting on Echo Sound.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
We'll still take the pizza, though.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Radville-Weyburn area, call Darren and Claude at South Sask Builders. Or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, brought to you by Linex Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
A mainly cloudy sky for tonight. We do have some snow possible. We have some freezing drizzle possible. Not much of anything. Very low impact for many of this, but it'll be in the air, and it'll start to pick up through the later part of the day tomorrow. A very thick overcast holding on. Temperatures back down to -8. Just a struggle through the evening, holding steady, and then a slow rise later in the nighttime. We don't get quite to freezing. Very close. -1 through the day on Saturday. Light snow develops in the afternoon, about a centimeter or so. There's going to be a lot of snow around. There's not going to be a lot of accumulating snow around. Some areas will pick up a heavier snowfall. Very localized, these snow showers. Other areas pick up a coating to a centimeter or so. Saturday night, the average across the region, 2 to 4, but again, highly variable. -8 Saturday night, the flurries wind down, partly sunny Sunday near 1. And then we're back above freezing Monday and Tuesday. Flurries reset, could be some steadier light snow through the day. Tuesday highs both days, 2. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is -6, Swift Current is +7, Assiniboia is +7, Broadview Moosomin -9, Yorkton Melville -12, Estevan +3, and Weyburn is 0. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy. Winds are from the southeast at 29, gusting to 38, and it's -3. Regina is mostly sunny. Winds are from the southeast at 28, and it's -5. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to our daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Saskatchewan potash fuels more than just crops. It fuels communities and economies. As the world's largest potash producer and the province's largest private sector employer, Nutrien plays a vital role in economic growth, supporting thousands of jobs and investing in local businesses. Saskatchewan potash. It's more than a resource. It's growth and prosperity. It's the silent strength behind the harvest to farmers around the world. Nutrien. From mine to farm to you. Nutrien.com/future.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Last half hour of the show on this Friday, because we're going to toss it to Dante as the Pats take on the Brandon Wheat Kings at 5:30. It's Chris Harris with me today, Colson, and the Sheriff. Thanks to everyone who's chiming in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line since 1986. Big jobs, small jobs, Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. We're getting the kid that scored the 5th overtime goal, athlete, I call him a kid, yesterday is a former Saskatoon Blade who scored in Game 7 against the Pats the year they beat Connor Bedard out. Shagru is the last name. What's the first name again, boys? Yeah, like what the kids, they call him Spencer. Yeah, they call him Mr. Game 7. He's scoring a 5th overtime. Yeah, whatever title you want on that one. Like we told you earlier, he was going to be in studio today. It's time to talk with our man from TSN, Farhan Lalji.
It's time to get the inside story. TSN's Farhan Lalji on Sportscage is brought to you by the Cooperators. Time to get financially fit? Cooperators can build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
In studio. There he is. We forgot the Western Pizza, though.
Dude, Colson, I walked in, I was looking forward to the first slice.
Spiro, if you're listening, we need a Western Pizza. We'll get it to Farhan's hotel, if nothing else. You walked over from your hotel, downtown Regina. I'll drive you home. We don't want to tempt it twice. You're in for the Combine, obviously. First off, let's go to that 5 overtime hockey game. You ever covered a game in all your years that's gone 5 or more?
Haven't gone past 3 for NHL games. So, when you get to 5, I mean, that's a pretty special thing. It's pretty unique. And to score that goal, and look, I don't know what it's like in the Western Hockey League or the SJHL, but what always blows me away in hockey is a team's ability to park it. Right? That's got to be the most emotional. Think of that team that lost a 5 overtime game. How many opportunities they had to win that game.
Oh.
Right? And the fact that team will come out the next game and they'll play like nothing happened. Right? At least in the NHL. I don't know what it's like in junior if they're mature enough to do that, but that's the part that's always blown me away is those teams that lose that game can park it. But it's just got to be so much of a relief and rewarding and exciting to win a game like that.
That's U Sport, and then they get to park it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Now they're done. They're going home. Their head coach, though, plays with Round Lake. Big senior game coming up, so he's flying to Saskatchewan. Now he gets a chance to win a Provincial A title.
As a player.
Yeah, he's good.
That's pretty good that you can juggle that.
Yeah, First Nations team. They're in the Provincial A. Up in Kenniston, they were trying to get it at the rink in Saskatoon at the university for 3,000 people. They couldn't get it. It was booked. So they got to play in the Kenniston rink, which will hold maybe 900.
Wow.
It'll be like sardines. But you're in for the Combine. Down there today, flew in late yesterday. Anything, catch your eye?
Yeah, there were some guys that turned in, good numbers. And every year you come to the Combine and there's more and more players that don't go, right? Because you got a lot of guys that are like NCAA guys and they've kind of reached their value, right? So your value can only go down by showing up for the most part. And, even a guy like Taylor Elgersma, who's the quarterback from Laurier, the U Sports kid, is getting a lot of NFL interest. So, he's a guy that's not here. So, when you lose like 15 of the top 25 guys, you think there'd be a drop-off in talent, and there isn't. These guys get better and better every year, and the talent pool gets deeper and deeper every year. So, the receiver from UMass, Daniel Weeb, the guy put on a show in testing. Fantastic. I think he broke the 4-second mark in the short shuttle, which is 5-10-5 change of direction drill. To get under 4 in that, that is as good as anybody in the NFL. Right, at their Combine. And then I think 4.52 in the 40. He was in the top 5 there. I think he jumped 37 on the vertical. So his testing was so good, but he's 5'8 3/4, right? So I want to see what he can do in the next 2 days in one-on-ones because that's going to be the question everybody has, right? Can he translate that at that size to the CFL game? And then there's this guy from Western, Max von Muhldorfer. So he's 6'6'1", 290. Runs the 40 in under 5 seconds, 4.15 on that short shuttle. And this guy's big, 34-inch vertical and 10-foot broad jump, right? And so a guy that killed it in testing, but they're going to look at him and say, yeah, you're pretty short for a D lineman. Right? So they'll want to see what he can do in the next 2 days. And, but the fact is he showed a lot of power with the bench and showed a lot of speed and his ability to move. So there were some pretty impressive performances for sure.
The one thing that I thought, I was only there briefly this morning, was really cool. There's a lot of parents that come in just watching their kids. There was a mom, they're obviously from Quebec. They were speaking French. Mom dropping off rice and chicken in a Tupperware for her son.
Awesome.
There.
Only in the CFL. A
lot of cool stories like that, I'm sure, throughout the CFL Combine.
The league's probably going to give him sandwiches, so she probably thinks, hey, this is, Here's the thing. I think this is going to get released on video at some point. Daryl Rommel doing the 40.
Oh.
So now, I saw the video, and there was nobody else around. So clearly, if he ran poorly, he wants to keep this under wraps. And I know Daryl. He's an Oregon Duck fan, which means he's kind of slow, right? So we'll see what the time was. I'll be impressed.
I wanted to get out there and sling it a bit, Harry, eh?
I would have caught for you.
Get some out and up, some double move stuff.
Single moves for me.
That would have been interesting. So, Harry, do you want to go ahead? Sorry. Oh, hold on. Your mic. Colson's got to turn your mic on. Colson missed pizza and he missed your mic. Is he trying? You good now? Oh, he's not. He's not there.
You made me wear the headphones, Colson, and you haven't got the mic turned on. Dude,
it's back-to-back weeks. You're in Farhan's. You know what?
No,
books.
I love Colson. He's a good man.
What did you think about the the Ed Hervey situation that we're in.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Like, I'm surprised that there felt a need to go and kind of dig up the storyline again, right? Because it kind of made the rounds once, and obviously Ed made it worth it by throwing out the money quote again. He probably didn't need to say, "Hey, there's no superstars," and I get where he was going with it, because if you think you're a superstar and you're getting paid that kind of money, you better produce at an incredibly high level. And in this league, the superstars, not the stars, the superstars tend to be the quarterbacks. Like, 2 or 3 really, really, really high-end quarterbacks tend to carry that title. So I kind of get where he was going with it, but it is a bit of a slap to everybody when you say there's no superstars in the league. So
the semantics of it, because Harry brought it up, he actually says, I don't know any superstars. So then it's like, and then now the CFL PA wants him to retract. Anytime retract, you've been in the business a long time. Anytime you got to retract, it's out there.
It's out there. And look, David Mackey's the new CFLPA executive director, and he was at the Combine today. And the president is still Solomon Elamimian, and Solomon and Ed have a history, from their time in BC. So, I wonder if there's any residual there. And look, again, I think if Ed could have taken it back and said it differently, he probably would have, but he's never been one to be blunt or shy to express an opinion or to be strong with his opinion, especially if he's annoyed that, hey, why is this story coming up again 2 months later, right? Like, the player's gone. I've already said I didn't talk to him. Well, why do we need to bring this up again? So, I get all of it, but hey, it's something to talk about again, hey?
And he started the interview with, I'm not good, and he's poked. You've done that.
You probably didn't even need to poke him much. He was probably annoyed that it got brought up, and then just it took a life of its own.
What are you watching then tomorrow?
So tomorrow they'll do the position work, and they'll do one-on-one drills, and then they'll start getting into one-on-one pass rush, and they'll probably get into some skelly work as well. And then on Sunday, it'll be all of that. Like, the drill work will be gone. But the drill work is interesting to me tomorrow, primarily because of special teams. Because so many of these guys, we always talk about these guys at the draft, and we're like, okay, can he be receiver in the league? Can he be a quarterback or whatever the position happens to be? But so many of these guys are being drafted for special teams. So to see their ability to kind of run and play physical with speed and do all of that, for me, I'm a bit of a coach geek, so it interests me. And then I want to see some of these one-on-ones. The DB class is really, really good. But the one-on-ones tend to be set up for the offense's advantage, right? So I want to see that. And, for me, this is the first meaningful prep I do for the draft show, right? So for just a chance to see the guys in one-on-ones and just talk to players is always a lot of fun. But the drill should be good.
Only 3 quarterbacks, I think Dave was saying. And then is one listed quarterback / tight end?
Yeah, Jackson Tuschinski from the University of Manitoba, and who does his training out in BC. I've gotten to know him because his quarterback trainer is Rob Williams, who works with my son as well. And Jackson's a great kid, and he was at this event last year, but he's a pretty good athlete, and he went to the Invitational Combine a couple of weeks ago, and the top 7 or 8 players get elevated from that to this Combine. So they asked him to take some receiver reps, and I had some CFL people say he's probably the best receiver at the Invitational Combine. So we'll see how he stacks up here. His times were just kind of okay from receiver standards. They were good by quarterback standards. So so Jackson's going to get some quarterback reps, and he'll get some receiver reps. We'll see how he does, because you have to believe that he doesn't really have the nuance of route running quite yet, right? And how to stem up a DB and create separation and do all of that. So it'll be raw for sure.
You said you got in late last night because you were down at Stanford.
I was, yeah.
And it's not often my wife will look up something in a combine or something and say, look at this.
She follows me on social media. You know that, hey, Barney? She does.
It's the kid from Medicine Hat.
Yeah.
But
Alec Ayomanor.
Ayomanor.
Yeah. So look, he's a fantastic kid, and I've gotten to know him. I was down there at the end of July when they opened up fall camp, and we did a feature on him then. And Stanford's such a magnificent place, and I'll be down there again in mid-June with my son for the Stanford camp. And so just to be exposed to all of that is great. But, usually you go to a pro day and every graduating senior takes part. Well, only 5 guys took part for Stanford because, these guys don't need to hang out on practice rosters. They're Stanford guys. They're going to make a lot of money, right? So there were 28 NFL teams there, all to watch Alec, because the other 4 guys aren't getting drafted. Like, they did the drills and everything like that, but they're not getting drafted. So, he's just so mature, and he's as mindful a young person as I've ever come across, like mind and body in the same place. You know, and you talk to him, and we tried to get him to be introspective because part of the story was about his time in Medicine Hat. And he grew up on his grandparents' farm, or spent a lot of time on his grandparents' farm in Kincaid, which is about a 2.5-hour drive if you take the gravel road. If you take the actual road, it's a little over 3 hours. You know, and we tried to get him to look back and be introspective about all of that stuff. And he was willing to tell some stories, but, you know, a lot of people would say, okay, well, this made me who I am, or what have you. And he's just not like that, because he's so right here. It's today. It's where am I now? Where am I in my goal process today? And whatever happened before isn't going to help me. It's not going to hurt me. I'm not going to be frustrated by it. I'm just going to stay mindful. And that was pretty cool to see a young guy do that, because usually, you know, guys in so many sports don't have the ability to park it. And if you struggled last year, if you're recovering from a knee injury, that baggage wears on you. It doesn't for this kid. So he didn't test because his NFL Pro Day numbers were really good. He just ran routes. And, you know, I talked to the Giants coach, and they really like him. And so there was a lot of there's a lot of buzz. You'll probably, I would imagine, go in the top 50 picks, like high in the second round is what I'm expecting.
Okay, well, we got Dante. Wait, this is it. We forgot pizza. You came in, we got
and
her
I'll
done.
even walk back, because I could use a brisk walk, and it's brisk here.
We're never going to live this down.
It's brisk here.
Joining us
live.
Listen,
I got a buddy of mine who, I helped him. He's a Canadian guy who's living in Chicago, and his son came out to Simon Fraser, so they had this big car accident. So I helped him. So you know what he did? He sent me 4 deep dish pizzas from Gino's East in Chicago and had them frozen.
Yeah.
And sent them out.
Yeah.
So Colson...
Western Pizza does that. They fly all over the country.
There you go. So that's next on the list, buddy.
For the co-op,
what's the guy's name?
Spiro.
Spiro and Colson are going to look after me.
For the cooperators, they can build a plan that works for you. Invest in your future together with the cooperators. It's Farhan Lalji from TSN. Let's go to break. It's the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
It's Truck Month at Capital Ford Lincoln. We're celebrating with $1 over invoice pricing on all remaining new 2024s. That means we only add $1 to the price we paid for the truck. We're talking savings up to $18,000 on a new 2024 Ford F-150 XLT. We'll even pretend a brand new 2024 Bronco Sport is a truck, because it probably wants to be. Up to $9,300 in savings. Do not miss Truck Month at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Fort Capel area, Melville, and Yorkton, call Calvin at 99 Builders or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
I'm Michael Cram, Member of Parliament for Regina Wascana. Who's really on Saskatchewan's side? The Liberals? They imposed a carbon tax, clawed back our healthcare transfers, and cancelled pipelines. The NDP? Jagmeet Singh always took Trudeau's side, keeping him in power so he could get his pension. Your Conservative MPs fight the carbon tax, support Saskatchewan's energy workers, and defend our health payments. Only Conservatives are always on Saskatchewan's side.
Some say the number 13 is bad luck, like walking under a ladder. Well, 13 is a very lucky number when you're talking Western Pizza, like their delicious 13-inch pepperoni from Western Pizza. That makes it, well, the luckiest number of all. Western Pizza, big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
You know something? It's like selling a six-pack with only 5 beers in it. Wood Country Woody here, reminding you that unlike some other places, Wood Country Garage Packages contains everything you need, right from the start, including appearance-grade lumber, all your nails and screws, and walk-in doors with cladded jambs. Building a garage? It's one and done with Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Shop online. wood-country.com.
Bender Shorthorns of Neudorf and Star P Farms of Humboldt invite you to their online sale featuring yearling and 2-year-old shorthorn bulls and females on March 22nd. Photos, videos, and bidding are all online at dlmsfarmgatetimed.auctions.com. To schedule a viewing prior to the sale, call Ryan at 306-728-8613. All bids must be placed online prior to 7 p.m. March 22nd. dlmsfarmgatetimed.auctions.com.
A few years ago I was doing okay, but the rising cost of living has made my credit card bills go through the roof, and I don't know how to handle it anymore.
Times are tough right now. The cost of living is causing many to fall into debt through no fault of their own. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and stressed, but there are options that can help you get back on your feet. My name is Jasmine Brown, and I'm a licensed insolvency trustee. I can help you find a solution to become debt-free right here in Regina. Visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Senior Hockey Reports on the Sportscage. Brought to you by Future Ford in Melville. New units arriving daily and premium used vehicles to fit any budget. The future is Future Ford. FutureFord.ca and CoolBet.co. Embrace the unexpected at CoolBet.co. Free-to-play casino games, sports odds, and more.
All right, little senior hockey report here, Harry. It's down to the nitty-gritty, like, awesome. Tonight, Cody's been in Assiniboia. Let's start with the Nauticue. Yellowgrass is down 3-1 in that series. Assiniboia, a chance to win it at home. Packed barn. The lottery's done. Someone's walking away with an airplane whenever they do that draw. Or the cash. I would take the airplane. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, Yellowgrass, Assiniboia. Sask East, Kenora, Cheech's boys hosting Rocanville tonight. Up 1-0 in the league final there. Qu'Appelle Valley Highway Hockey League, they go back tomorrow in Raymore, Game 3 between Lumsden and Raymore. The big one tonight, Moosomin, Saskatchewan. Moosomin home to Davidson, Provincial B. Their backs are against the wall. Must win for the Moosomin Rangers. Davidson could win the banner tonight, 8 p.m. in Moosomin. And then Sunday, Provincial A final starts. The Round Lake Bears taking on Kenaston. They're playing the game in Kenaston. So the story goes, Harry, the Belshers booked. So they couldn't make anything happen, couldn't squeeze in a late Sunday. They would have had 2,500 to 3,000 people in there. Concessions buzzing, beer buzzing. Have you been in the Kenaston rink?
I've never been in the Kenaston rink, no.
You're driven by it.
Belcher, though. Yes, I've driven by it plenty.
They are going to try and put 900 people in there. And I'm going to say 650, 700 would be sardines. Yeah, so that'll be really interesting. So much senior hockey. We'll recap it on Monday. The senior hockey report here on the Sports Cage is always for Future Ford in Melville. New units arriving daily and premium used vehicles to fit any budget and lifestyle. The future is Future Ford. See them at futureford.ca and coolbet.co. You can go on there and look at the lines. Moosomin is a plus 150 underdog tonight against Davidson. So if you want to sprinkle on the home team, Moosomin, go to Coolbet and do that. So we didn't talk much about NHL. Give it to me straight though. Who's getting in wild card? Who are the wild card teams that you see?
Oh boy, I mean, I'd like to say Detroit, but I have a feeling Montreal will sneak in there. I think Montreal. I mean, Ottawa seems to have a bit of a stranglehold on it. It would take an epic collapse from them to drop out. So I would give one berth to them, and then I think Montreal might squeeze in there. I'd really have to sit down and look at the team's schedules, what they've got left, to really make a good, educated guess. But I don't know. Because I don't want them to, Montreal is probably going to squeak in there.
And then in the West, I don't know if Calgary can do it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that is too big of a hill to climb this late in the year, that they're kind of on the outside looking in at this point.
Okay, well, get your 50-50 for the Blades.
Still doesn't work.
Oh, they said it did.
Doesn't work.
$25,000.
I don't know. I'm going to try.
Travel safe. Anyone, if you're going to Moose Jaw for the AAA game, Swift Current, 7 p.m. puck drop. The Junior B game at the Ritchie, 7 p.m. Lots of SJHL around. We'll recap everything Monday. It's the Sports Cage. Talk to you then.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much